Peekaboo, I see you looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I
It'll be fun. We'll be okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2. We've got the Narcoleptic Kittens going up against Team XYZ here on the Titan Immortal Group B broadcast. I'm Solancho, once again joined by Anti, and we got some names here. Very interesting names.
I mean, I gotta say, Narcoleptic Kittens, top tier name. Maybe not necessarily the most reasonable acronym, but you know.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to Captain Snarfles.
Yeah, I mean, so there's something to be said, right? As a player, a lot of the times you don't really care about these names, right? You're going in, you're just like, all right, well, I gotta figure out what do I do about, you know, Kep's champion pool. What am I looking at for Afterlife's, you know, most played champions here or there? Meanwhile, as a caster, you look at that and it's like, buttered chicken. That sounds funny as hell. I hope they get a pentakill, right? Because it would be so fun to just shout at the top of your lungs about, oh my god, buttered chicken's just going crazy with it. But all fun and memes aside, here we are. Both of these teams 1-0 on the day, so we're going to see whether or not, you know, either the Narcoleptic Kittens or Team XYZ is going to come out on top as we get into the swing of things here. Now, both of these teams have, you know, obviously very talented players. You're not going to be coming into Immortal and start things off 1-0 if you don't know how to play the game.
I mean, sometimes we like to believe we don't know how to play League of Legends when we draft. You know, we let Rek'Sai top be a meta for a couple of months. So I'd like to argue that sometimes we, as League players, we like to act like we don't know how to play the game. But I'm sure that these two teams will know how to play the game. We're gonna have some exciting drafts here. I'm hoping that we're gonna get some Skarner bans right out the gate. Get that champion out of the way.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Right? Because as you mentioned, the Rek'Sai now top lane is filled with a completely new, crazy top lane, not necessarily flex pick, but top lane unbelievably uncontestable champion. That is the Skarner. As long as Mordekaiser's not on the table, Skarner is almost certainly going to be picked up again and again. Meanwhile, we got some Irelia playing in the top lane. I'd be very, very happy to see that, as Butter Chicken should very much be getting that Karthus banned away, especially with how unbelievably meta that champion is right now. We've been seeing so many of these magic damage burn junglers along with the AD mid lanes.
He is getting nerfed next patch, though. I think if I recall.
Yes, but that is next patch, not right now.
It will be played right now. And then we go over to Afterlife with a mastery of Nami. I don't think that's going to be coming out in the mid lane, but it would be very interesting if it did.
I mean, honestly, when you think about it, right, it's all about playing for funnel. Please don't ban Merit Zero.
Please don't ban me, Rito.
I cannot read. Cannot believe this. But, I mean, look at that KDA, right? The Draven, super, super terrifying to be dealing with. Meanwhile, we've got some crazy players on the other side. We mentioned the Irelia on one side, and here on the other for Team XYZ, Jax, a very strong pick into the Irelia, so I would be very surprised to not see that matchup if we do have the Irelia get slammed. But in the meantime, very, very strong picks from all of these players as their highest mastery champion. So you cannot just go for, what if we just ban the super meta things? Instead, you also have to pay attention to what these players really do enjoy playing.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Lucian out of Kiwi Kemen is an interesting one. Not really seen too much play of him in the current meta states where things like Sivir, Jinx, Ezreal still kind of shine out into the long half, as well as Xayah. But you never know. I'd still probably want to take that away from Kiwi Kemen because maybe it could be a little bit of an ace up their sleeve if they decide to pull it out. But both these teams are going to be hitting the draft book And, you know, that Karthus is already taken away.
There it goes. None of that Karthus play. As we said, right? Karthus, one of those incredibly meta picks, and also being one of those highest rated champions, going to make things pretty easy.
Yeah, but no ban.
Yes, we are losing 2 bans for the side of Narcoleptic Kittens, so don't worry about that as we go on into the swing of things here. And Tristana being taken off the table, I really like here from Team XYZ. As we said, right, it's those AD mid laners and magic damage junglers that are what we usually see nowadays. So we might be seeing the Ezreal, we might be seeing, you know, the Talia come through. And now, with 1 ban available, you gotta take away the Skarner, but Skarner's left on the table.
Yeah, interesting to see that the Rumble's been away. That's got to be some sort of scouting decision, and the biggest threat that may be facing this top side also could be a little bit of a mid lane flex. I believe we saw that last week. But Jinx getting banned when you have B1 is a little interesting to me, but this pick is definitely a flex. One of my favorite champions. I love the Volibear, but it could be top or jungle, and that we already know is definitely going in the bot lane.
Yeah, so I will say, I despise the Volibear. I think the Volibear is a stupid, ultra broken champion.
What?
And
that's a stupid, ultra broken champion.
No, but real talk, Volibear is an incredibly strong champion, whether it be in the top lane, in the jungle. And when I say incredibly strong, I mean in competitive play to use as a flex pick. So with that, the Volibear Talia means that the top jungle 2v2 is nearly uncontestable. Now, because of that, the only real things that you're likely going to be seeing is stuff like the Skarner that could be able to contest it. In the meantime, we do see the Draven takeaway here, but I would not be surprised to see something like, you know, let's say the Sona Seraphine bot lane. We might be just getting that Seraphine in the mid lane and get Camille support as well, especially with these top lane bans coming in here. I'd be very surprised to see the Camille being picked into the Volibear. Traditionally, Volibear favored early on, and when it comes to competitive, an early favored pick means a lot.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this also could be like, you know, it's a massive like what if here, but this could be an AP Seraphine bot lane with a support Camille. There's definitely 100% a potential option here that the side of Sun could be looking to go into. We see the 80 carry bans coming out, so they might have you know, thrown Team XYZ for a bit of a loop here. Maybe this is something they were not able to scout out. The Blitzcrank's going to be banned out to combo very well with that Draven, and they're gonna pick up that Nautilus. So this basically tells me that this is probably Seraphine APC into the bot side. That Camille is most likely gonna be going up to the top lane unless we see the mid lane pick, but I see no reason why you don't take mid lane as a counter pick for your last pick here.
Oh!
Narcoleptic Kittens, and the Renekton is going to be coming out, so that will be a Volibear jungle, which is going to be interesting.
No, that is going to be the Volibear top, Renekton mid. So now you have 2 lanes with point and click CC for the Talia. This 2v2 is unbelievable. But that that means so much magic damage is going to be placed onto Captain Snarfles. Like, it's all going to be about the magic damage on jungle and no magic damage elsewhere here.
It is Volibear jungle.
Okay, never mind. I'm turning into a liar immediately.
Okay, no, it could have been that, but I think this like
I would have been so happy. I thought it would have been great.
It's still possible because we still see here that, you know, for Team Sun it was a little messed up there, but as we're gonna be heading into the game, we're gonna have confirmation here. Jin just admitted anyway, but no matter what, like you were saying, Anti, it doesn't matter where those champions are. That top 3 is absolutely disgusting coming out of Team XYZ, and their bot lane is even worse. This Draven is going to have free range to do whatever they please, and by God, okay, they've swapped lanes, so if we could get a producer swap potentially, eventually, once they go out to lane, and we confirm things, it seems that Afterlife will be the APC with a Nautilus support, and Hui will be in the mid lane. I don't particularly want to see it. I didn't really want to see a Hui APC. That wouldn't have been good.
honestly, I think Hwei APC is one of those very underrated picks that can
not against Draven.
I'd actually argue into Draven is where it works out best because you can force him to miss all of his axes. But it's more of just knowing that particular matchup. So it's one of those moments where, oh, this is really far in.
Titan gets the stun off. Oh, but he forces the flash out of please don't ban me. And that's going to get a free ward over into, I believe that will win it to Captain Snarfle. So he's going to get level 2 pretty fast and be able to exponentially clear these jungles. Now, Volibear, as we know, has a little bit of a fast jungle speed. It's been touched here and there over time, so it's not as fast as it used to be. But it still is exponentially fast, and these junglers are going to be matching with their clears here, starting on their red side, moving to the blue side. You know, the butter chicken on the Viego is going to feel that Almawant is able to hold their own early on against the Renekton as the Camille, and he wants to get this bot lane ahead because, well, they are going to struggle a little bit against Draven and Leona.
Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, we see so much trading in the mid lane. Somehow, Please Don't Ban Me has been able to get the level 2 push early on despite burning that flash. And what in the world, the flash on in for first blood from Tomato Tom.
Okay, maybe a little bit of a mystery. The Camille is not safe against the Crocodile on the top side early on. Tomato Tom is coming out with the aggression, wants to get that top side prio, force the TP already out of Alma, can potentially get this wave shoved. Got to be careful though because the Ignite is all in the line, so Alma can go for a little bit of an engage. Snarfle's maybe looking for an engage around onto Please Don't Ban Me, but instead it's just going to be moving to the top side, maybe trying to pick up that Scuttle Crab. But meanwhile, the bot side is looking primed and nearly ready for a gank. Butter Chicken is just about a minute away from being able to finish out these camps, maybe about 30 seconds on the Gromp here. The Gromp and blue buff here, and can come into this bot side. So I'm going to be looking at Aquascience's engage potential. And now Tomato Tom is trying to bait Alma in, gets the stun off. The Ignite's going to be able to come down, but it's the slice and dice with the heal. It's not enough though. Alma was able to slay Tomato Tom, but can Captain Snarfle catch up? The slow is just enough. The mid lane peel though. Oh, here comes Kemp. Can they be able to shut off Alma? The knockup comes down into the earth slide. And the mid laner is able to trade out at least 1-for-1. Tomato tried their darndest to get the jungler there, but it just was a little unfortunate on the timing. And we see the wave here in the bot side has bounced back into favor of Kiwi Kemin and Titan, so no gank available for Butter Chicken.
I will also say that gank almost turned out super disastrously. Captain Snarfle's burn the flash did not actually get an assist there. So Volibear so far behind now, especially with the jungle trades coming on in. But speaking of trades, so much trading in the bot lane. No mana left though.
And that's an engage and a half, and they have to give props over to Titan on the Leona. Seeing no mana on Afterlife, has no follow-up potential to be able to heal up or shield up that Nautilus. Meanwhile, Flea, Please Don't Ban Me, maybe trying to go for the kill on the Kep, but he's got to be careful because he's nearly under the tower, and it does not matter. He's able to pick up the solo bolo in the mid lane with the help of an Arcane Comet. And Snarfle is coming back up into the top side. No level 6 ultimate. Don't even think he needs to be here, but he's going to be able to zone out Butter Chicken. Tomato Tom unable to clean up the kill onto Alma. And this is looking free. They want to go for the tower dive. They want to be able to kill Tomato Town, but Butter Chicken gets the stun off, forces the flash out. Captain Snarfle is able to eat the turret shots, but no kills are able to come out of it in this top side, and it's looking like they're going to get away for free, but not unless Snarfle's has a say-so in it, that he's going to be on cooldown once again. The cancel of the recalls, he's going to be able to stop them recalling once again. The turret tower, or the wave, is going to be under this tower soon. Meanwhile, we have a bot side engage. One axe is able to land onto Afterlife of the Ignite of Titan. Can they get the double kill though? Maybe one more stun, maybe one more auto, but they're unable to find it. Too tanky is that Nautilus, and they're still in this top side, which I believe Viego was able to kill out on a Captain Snarfle, get the reset, and finds 2. That is absolutely absurd how that top side went wrong.
Yeah, and we're still getting more and more action across the map here every single moment of the game. And That was just a cross-map play on repeat. Snarfles is unbelievably pissed, just keeps trying to make things happen. Meanwhile, Alma in a lot of trouble, still barely going to be able to stay alive. You know, just shaking off those engages here. The Camille, I will say, has been doing a great job of dealing with these tower dives, has been able to stay alive in these moments, has been able to waste a lot of Snarfles' time. The biggest issue, though, is that they're still behind after all of that. Look at this, an over 20 CS difference and even more of these minions dying to the tower. Meanwhile, Kiwi has so much gold off of that early kill. The Draven has started to get rolling, and Alma still not able to reach the tower. As we said, right, the dives have been played exceedingly well, but you're still very much behind. Tomato Tom going to be able to just continue to proxy behind this level 7 to almost level 6. Was almost a 2-level difference for a short moment here, but Renekton has been paying out dividends as XYZ have very much the control over this game despite the kill differential.
Yeah, I gotta say, they're gonna get the first dragon here, but I like where Team Sun already is into this game, because with the amount of time wasted in that topside gank from Snarfles, he's gonna be down just about 6, maybe 7 camps to Buttered Chicken. You see, he's already got that camp lead. It's about 10 CS gold. Well, that entire time spent in the topside AFK, essentially, is going to put him behind Buttered Chicken, who has the CS lead. He's going to keep farming those camps. They get topside prio 2 for these Void Grubs. And now he's going to return to farm those camps, scale up on this Viego, and just come out swinging, dealing a ton of damage into the later on team fights, where Viego will shine and carry off of those resets. So that's something we got to take advantage to. Then bring it into the mid lane. Please Don't Ban Me is shoving Kept under tower like every single chance that he gets, especially with those Ionian boots, spamming out those abilities, keeping those waves under, gaining this mid lane control. It's going to help later on into the game with these top and bottom objectives. Keeping this Talia from being able to roam with the Weaver's Wall is definitely what you want to be doing if you're the Hui right now.
I do also want to say, right, so the way how this composition works early on, Volibear has such a good gank onto Hui, right? Especially because, Please Don't Ban Me did not have flash early on. Instead, we're getting the Volibear constantly coming up to this top lane, constantly trying to set this Camille behind, but she's already pretty dang far behind the Renekton. I'm not sure if this is the correct play here, but in the meantime, Captain Snarfles going to just continue to go on in towards this top side. Ultimate available and looking for the trades. No shield left onto Alma, and now Alma very much has to leave.
Yeah, I just don't agree with this play. I feel like it's time wasted. He can't steal topside camps either. Butter Chicken's gonna be there. Already cleared up all their camps, and now just roams up for free. Has nothing on the map of value to be able to farm, so he could just sit here. Gets the dominance procced out of the Renekton as well, and Starfle's running in with that Volibear from the bush. That was just telegraphed that he was gonna be able to come in. Titan comes in from behind here though. Afterlife, the Charm's gonna come down to this Seraphim, but the Ignite convert with Kiwi's ultimate is just enough. They're gonna be able to get the top side kill out, but Butter Chicken may be able to trade 1-for-1. And like you said, Anti, like this is all fun and dandy. They want to get the Camille behind, but she's already behind. Like your bot side isn't really struggling that much because it is a Draven and a Leona. So help out, maybe just help out the mid laner who's down like 30 CS and has every single wave under their tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing, right? It's not like setting the Camille further behind is a bad thing in the slightest. The biggest question that I have here is, why are you picking Volibear Talia if you're not going to play the Volibear Talia, right? You know, there's just, either way, Snarfles once again in the top lane. What in the world did Alma say before this game? I'm sure that this is personal at this point because there's just no reason to be up here this much.
I agree. I definitely agree. The Camille is down 50 CS just about. I think nearly, yeah, a 2-level lead on the Renekton as well. He could single-handedly take care of this lane. I don't think Butter Chicken is going anywhere near this lane either as a level 7 Viego going up against a Renekton with dominance, and I think just about first item online as well. He does not want to go near that with a 10-foot pole. And so he's going to be playing more swords. He doesn't need to go to the mid lane because mid lane's already got Prio, and his bot lane is just a little bit supportive. So I guess that it means that they think that Butter Chicken's going to play more realistically toward the top side.
Oh, but watch mid.
Oh, this is looking insane. Gets the damage enough out of Please Don't Ban Me. Not looking likely! He lands the ability onto Cat. This is why you need to help out your mid laner, because he's getting squashed by the other one right now. And this is why I was trying to say Butter Chicken doesn't need to be in mid, he doesn't need to be in bot, and he doesn't realistically need to be in top because his top's so far behind. He's just going to continue to farm camps and scale up as a Viego, and the team's going to win out in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem for Team XYZ right now is going to be that way. Please Don't Ban Me has been putting on a clinic here, and that's with the Archangel staff, right? It's not even going to be, you know, some kind of Luden's companion moment. It's not going to be any Blackfire Torch or anything like that. This is a very defensive early pickup from Please Don't Ban Me, and has still very much been putting out as much damage as possible. The question is, when the team fights do come around, how strong is the Seraphine? You know, can Afterlife make this pick work despite falling behind early? And Seraphine as a champion does lend herself over to that. The biggest question here is, what in the world is Team XYZ going to do in order to push this lead? You got a huge lead onto the Renekton, as Kept has basically been playing weak side mid lane here, and almost no chance that you can really contest these grubs, as the dragon is going to be going down for the side of Team XYZ.
Yeah, but at least you pick up the 6 grubs for the side of Sun, so that's going to help you with a little bit of map prio. But I mean, the only person who doesn't have a wave under their tower is Please Don't Ban Me in the mid lane, so you don't really know how useful those grubs are going to be at the current state of the game. Tomato Tom realistically could just walk up and hit these waves as much as they please. But we gotta see some sort of team fighting coming out of Sun, get the positioning available for Hwei to get that damage in left, right, and center, and see realistically where they're at in the game. They're down not that much gold, and they're about even on kills, but they are down 2 dragons, so objectively wise it's kind of almost an even trade, but we really won't know where the game is at until we see some sort of team fight. And Butter Chicken's going to be coming down, scoping out this bot side, thinks that there might be a ward in the river somewhere, so he's going to opt to go not for the gank. And I'll tell you what, while Snarfles has been in the top lane a ton, it feels like Butter Chicken has been on the counter ganking angle and not been very much proactive around the map.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this game has been Snarfles forcing something, Butter Chicken playing to respond, right? Playing some reactive jungling rather than going in and doing their own plan here. Meanwhile, Tomato Tom just going to continue on this onslaught in the top lane here, but at the very least, the Hwei going to commit to the teleport to try to come on in, make something happen, but oh, that's a lot of rage.
Oh no! Tomato Tom walks straight into Please Don't Ban Me's ultimate, but it does not matter. The slice and dice heals him straight up. The ultimate gets shut down. And, well, I mean, I guess that's one way to deal with this way later on into the game, is just send the crocodile on him. I mean, I feel like that's the answer to all of League of Legends issues, right? Just pick Renekton and go kill everything.
Yeah. I mean, the best CC is death in the end here. Meanwhile, speaking of CC, Kiwi going to get CC'd up under tower, but not for very long, as Afterlife does complete the full-on back. It's not going to be any commitment in response here. And that's 1 tower going down to Team XYZ. Looking for a second one here. Snarfles now in the bot lane, now looking to continue to play around their stronger lanes here. Acquiescence in the front, not in the right position for the Sarah ulti.
I don't like this anti. I don't really like this at all. Acquiescence is going to get the solar beam nailed onto them, and that will be Please Don't Ban Me coming in to try and get the support in the backside, but Acquiescence has already fallen. Whale, it goes wide. Camille's able to trade out onto the Leona though, committing the ultimate to that one. And this team, Wei, gets a shutdown, has to flash out though, and the Draven is starting to do a ton of damage. It's Team XYZ is actually falling there to Team Sun, a full ace in the bot side after what we just were talking about XYZ being so far ahead, and I said, like, we have to wait to see how these team fights pan out. And that was all Team Sun.
Yeah, I mean, the Narcoleptic Kittens waking on up in this mid game here. You can see that it all started off with that one whiffed ulti from Afterlife. It looked so bad for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens, and Team XYZ, their eyes light up. They say, hey, we can do this. We can push a little further. Double TP into the bot lane. All of a sudden, you're playing a 3v4. TP from Tomato Tom, and you think to yourself, well, we can play the 4v4 with our Fed Renekton. No, the Draven goes down, and Buttered Chicken on the Viego going to be able to make full use of that reset there. As once again, trying to make something happen with their gold lead. XYZ could be fine here. I doubt we're going to get much of a fight before the Herald goes down.
I think they want to force this. Maybe that fight was just some sort of fluke anti, but who knows? The solar beam's coming down or straight on the captain's snorkels. Not the one you really want to be able to hit with that, but Butter Chicken stays alive for just a nick amount of time. Kiwi Kevin is the next target on the list, and they'll fall to the Camille. Going forward, Kep is a quarter of HP. Can they find the kill? Almat goes forward, leading the charge, able to get that one, and Titan is last on the list to fall. It's another almost clean ace triple kill for the Camille that was behind so much. And oh my, it was not a fluke, that fight in the bot lane. They may have lost out on the top side objective, but the team fights themselves are all Team Sun.
Yeah, it's all about that Seraphine pick here, right? As Seraphine as a champion just does so well in these death ball compositions, and Afterlife just going to be able to pump so many heals and shields into the team, just always going to be a threat here. So with that, you know, Buttered Chicken just needs one of these resets, but that fight was won without Buttered Chicken resetting, right? The Viego died right at the very beginning, and it still works out here, and all of a sudden XYZ looking for another team fight.
Will it be 3 in a row? Who knows? Tomato Tom's going to get 3 away. The Dragon's going to be up. This will be Soul Point, a Cloud Soul for Team XYZ if they're able to pick it up. Meanwhile, Alma is zooming out this mid lane, trying to get someone to force onto him. But so far, Butter Chicken finds the angle into Kep. This is a reset that he wants. And so far, it's a 5v4. The Dragon has already been started, but they're going to turn for this objective. Aquasins is going to land the hook straight onto the Draven. Nothing's really able to come up with that, though. And here comes, please don't ban me over the wall. The Dragon goes in favor Team XYZ. They picked up Soul Point, but can they get out with their lives? Wei is all alone in the pit right now, and not much he can particularly do to save himself. But his team is doing the damage on the rest of the map. It's a Camille ultimate out of Alma onto the Draven, able to find that kill, but the ultimate from the Volibear comes down in response, and Afterlife and Butter Chicken have to run for their life. The commit of the ultimate just to be able to escape. So we gotta eventually talk that Sun is winning out in a majority of these team fights, what it feels like, but they're not getting anything out of it. They're just getting kills, while XYZ has gotten both objectives in the last 2 team fights that they fought over.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy fight, and I honestly think that the majority of the reason why that fight didn't quite work out for the Narcoleptic Kittens is because Please Don't Ban Me was completely separated from their team. Right, the entire fight was looking pretty dang solid, and all of a sudden you've got a Hui sitting in the pit 1v2ing against Volibear and Draven. That Hui does not matter if you're Faker piloting that champion. I do not think that you're going to be able to win that one, but in the end, it is going to go over to Team XYZ as an even trade in kills, but more importantly, the Soul Point going over to Team XYZ. Kep's not taking the wall all the way in, but still should be able to come in just in time to burn the flash, but not getting the combo.
Yeah, but the damage on the Kep is gonna be there to clean up. If somebody can help, Please Don't Ban Me. It's not looking very likely. So great angle there, XYZ, able to find out that mid laner. That's a win con gone, and right as the Baron spawns, this is looking like a potential another objective. They're going to drop their account on the top side, force this Sun team to respond to a heavy top side push. They go into Butter Chicken immediately, and Kiwi Kevin is able to pick up that one. Tomato Tom caught out in the middle of 3 people, but I don't think he cares. Afterlife is the first one to fall. Now he turns his sights onto Alma, the next squishy-esque champion, leaving that Nautilus. Maybe, no, he's going to chase that one down and leave Alma to the rest of his team, but Alma able to save, able to slay Kep. Meanwhile, now this should be the Baron angle. I think you should leave someone to kill that mid turret, but they're gonna go all 4 members that are alive to kill this whole worm.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's all about that DPS, but a surprising amount of DPS coming out of Alma right at the very end. Kept just caught off guard, not ready for that Camille burst damage here. But this is a beautiful adaptation from Team XYZ. They understand, hey, well, when Narcoleptic Kittens takes the fight to us, it turns into a huge problem because they have such a strong team fighting based composition. So what if we just group up, start playing for these picks, right? Start playing with the Volibear Talia combo, start playing with the Renekton Talia combo, right? You know, these easy point and click CCs that allow for the seismic shove for so much damage on these side lanes. At the very least, you get the flash burned out, but Snarfle's no flash available and no flash needed to get away from this red buff. This is a lot of people committed down here for a single buff, and it will eventually go to the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens.
This game feels back and forth, although it doesn't look back and forth anti sometimes. Like, it's weird. They're gonna commit the Solar Beam onto Alma. I guess they want to get these. Does Draven have stacks up? Is that what they're going for? Titan gets the kill anyway, so it doesn't matter if Draven had stacks or not. Maybe getting a little bit extra pocket, let him finish off the 3rd item, the Mortal Reminder coming online. As you see, he has the Scimitar. But what is this Sun team trying to do? Are they trying to kill Cap? Cap is already 6 deaths. He doesn't really do anything. I hate to break it to you. And he's just gonna Weaver's Wall on out of there. So, like, this is... I don't really know what Sun is committing to. I guess they're gonna go...
That's fine. Here. They get the tower.
Maybe they're just trying to take Baron buffs away? Like,
I mean, at this point, right, you're in a position where you cannot fight against these people who are just like pushing some of these towers. I do think that some of these towers are towers that could have been defended, but instead Narcoleptic Kittens are going to opt to play to get that objective bounty on that inner turret there, right? And as you said, Cilantro, like, so much of this game feels back and forth, but you hit tab and you say to yourself, oh, well, this is fine, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's like a 6k gold lead that we're dealing with coming into this fight.
Oh, we've got another fight over an objective here. Flash is committed. Aquasins is going to be the first to fall. The Kiwi Lemon, they're going to turn their sights onto Afterlife. The Seraphine, not going to be long for this world, as the flail is going to end up landing, and all the rest of the members have been shoved out into the mid lane. There is no potential way that they can be able to stop this objective, Team Sun. And they don't have the wave pushing power yet either, especially with the bot side gone. And this could be an all-out angle. Maybe Team XYZ wants to go for the game-ending play, but Titan able to zone out Butter Chicken, who's going to move down into the river. Maybe he wants to go for some sort of steal. I don't feel like that's going to be able to happen, but he's going to look for it anyway. And now we have a jungler 1v1, Snarfles versus Butter Chicken. Butter Chicken can win out on this one, but he's not going to. He plays the Volibear E shield perfectly, and Tomato Tom comes in for the cleanup. The smite's going to come down. The soul's going to be claimed, and meanwhile, Draven is shoving out the mid lane. He's able to claim the inhibitor turret. The last 3 members alive cannot stop this man. He does too much damage, and the rest of the team is coming in for a little bit of backup. Baron buff not going to be long for this world, but the inhibitor is already gone, and that's going to be a little bit of a disengage angle.
Yeah, and this is a strategy that we all know and love that I like to call slapping the opposing team with your wallet. Look at how much gold this Draven has, as Kiwi just super happy to walk on up here, and a huge ulti comes through.
That's actually massive. Aquasins is able to find 2 off the cleanup of that. It does not commit the Nautilus ultimate just yet. It's on cooldown now. They want to be able to run down Tomato Tom. So this XYZ team maybe getting a little bit greedy there, going for the 2nd inhibitor. But I feel like we're at the state of the point in the game where I don't really think that they didn't have shutdowns on them. So I don't really think that those kills really mattered that much.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it's a little bit of respite for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens, as the jungler and mid laner are going to be going down for Team XYZ. But as we've noted, there's no objectives on the map available right now, so it's not really going to turn into too much outside of simply kills and gold. But At this point, you take what you can get, right? One huge ultimate from Afterlife turns into a large teamfight win, and that's a little bit of hope for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens. Maybe if you do group up, maybe you can get one of those ultis off yet again with this Seraphine pick. As we've said before, right? Please don't ban me. Putting out so much damage on the Hwei, but right now the question is, can Butter Chicken slap on out here?
He's able to flash away from the solar beam that comes down. Camille ultimate immediately committed onto the Draven. I like this.
Oh!
The shutdown goes over to the Nautilus, though. Now they want to turn their sights on the Titan. Titan potentially going to be the next one to fall as Alma goes over the wall. This Camille finding and work this fight around. 2 members have already fallen, but Tomato, somebody's got to respond to the Crocodile, and they're going to send the Camille, the only one who realistically can, to be able to stop him from farming up this inhibitor. Unfortunately, it will fall. They'll take a maybe. Alma will chase him down a bit, but he will eventually get it. The stun's not going to be able to come off. The slow, though. He's going to be able to commit the Dominus. Flashes onto Please Don't Ban Me. Will potentially get the kill. No, Please Don't Ban Me. Flashes over the wall, and here comes the Nautilus. The Dominance is going to be able to run out here soon, as well as that Rage Bar. The stun's going to be able to come down. It's another root up. The damage is absurd onto one Crocodile. He's taking up so much, and he's not going to take anyone out with him. And all the team have came in for backup, and this game is just, it's going everywhere right now, Anti. It feels like XYZ is supposed to be on the verge of ending, but then Sun just goes and does that, gets like 3 kills without trading anyone.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, when you take that Draven out of the fight, a beautiful teleport flank from Please Don't Ban Me, just in the right position at the right time to take away so much of the gold lead from Team XYZ, and then all of a sudden, you don't have yourself a Steve Irwin, but if you throw 3 people in, maybe you can match the powers of that Crocodile Wrangler here, but right now, we're getting yet another fight in the mid lane.
Titan gets caught out by the Camille. That's a reset for the Viego too, so that means XYZ does not want to engage off that. And with the Purple Worm being online, TP4 kept, so he can push out this bot side. He will be matched by Please Don't Ban Me. I think Please Don't Ban Me still has the bit of an advantage here out in between the two. So I wouldn't be too worried, honestly, if I was Team Sun. I don't like that they're recalling here. I genuinely don't. I think they should have stayed and committed. It's just one Talia. And now you see the Afterlife and Acquisitions are going to be there, but the Purple Worm is already down to 8k. They're going to get engaged.
Afterlife
onto the Seraphine. Falls to Captain Snarfle's kept going to be coming in off of the Weaver's Wall. Shuts Butter Chicken away. And the Talia with the bait play has potentially opened up the game ender here. Snarfle's running down Butter Chicken, gets the stun off, but kept might give their life here as Alma is trying to slay out the mid laner, is able to find it, gets turned on by 3 members of Team XYZ, and is traded out for that punishment onto Kept, and they're going to continue to smack away at the Purple Worm. Butter Chicken, it's up to you. Can you go over the wall? Can you steal it for your team? Keep them alive in this game just a little bit longer. It's only you 2 that are alive though, so it might not even matter if you do get it.
A lot of
Hwei damage. Go for it anyway. Hwei is going to chunk it down. He can't see the HP bar. It's going to get smited here soon. Butter wants to go over the wall, but he gets it, and he goes back. So it will be Afterlife and Acquisitions picking up the buff too, as Please Don't Ban Me is able to be slain out. But that's 2 members that are only alive, and XYZ, they know that. They recognize that. They don't give a damn about the Baron buff. They're going to go end it. They have the numbers. They feel confident heading into this fight. The inhibitor won't be long for this world, and with Kiwi Catman, those Nexus turrets will not be long either. 3 members are alive. TP's coming down. That's going to be Tomato coming in with that Dominance. The Storm's going to come down on Tomato Tom immediately, though. The Dominance is committed. Can he get the slice and dice heal up? So far, Alma has slain by Kep. They turn their sights onto Afterlife and Acquisitions. Can they clean up the kills? Not yet. They retreat into the
7 seconds on Viego.
Viego's going to be up in 3. But will it be enough to save his team? Titan finds Afterlife. The Weaver's Wall shuts out the Viego for just maybe enough time. He's coming in. The resets could be huge here. The Nexus is already at a half HP. Kiwi Kevin able to find Afterlife. Turns his sights onto Butter Chicken. Gets 2. All the members of Team Sun have fallen. And XYZ take it. You got the Baron, but unfortunately, it did not matter, Team Sun.
Yeah, and in the end, a ridiculous back and forth match between Team XYZ and Team Narcoleptic Kittens. I cannot believe how back and forth that was and how much the Kittens stayed in that match despite being down so much gold for such a long time. So much time was spent from Team XYZ to set behind the Camille, but almost still turned out to be a huge threat in that late game. The Seraphine falls behind early into the Draven, and Draven's such a snowbally champion, but you still cannot get past the fact that this Seraphine was a huge problem in these fights regardless. And as we mentioned before, please don't ban me on the way, very, very powerful here, but kept still in the right places at the right time, able to still do so much for their team. That last Reaver's wall might have been the decider for end of that game there. But in the end, Baron steals aside. The Nexus is the one big objective that you do want to be protecting there. So Baron trade for Nexus, sure, Team XYZ will take that one any day. But the question is, what kind of trades will we get in game number 2, as we're likely to see a few different changes in the draft?
Yep.
Dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion, staring down the barrel, waiting for the final gates to open to a new tomorrow, moving with the motion. and I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
All right, everybody.
All right.
That was a game.
Yeah, that was a game of all time. Now, the biggest thing about that game, right? So if you close your eyes and don't look at the game itself, you just look at the gold graph. That looks like XYZ should have won that game a billion years ago because they had so much gold. But somehow the Narcoleptic Kittens always finding a way back into the swing of things, always finding an opportunity, always finding an angle to take a fight and come out on top. I'm genuinely so confused. But in the end, game number 1 is behind us. A lot of that was spent putting Alma towards that back foot, but honestly, the Camille still did a lot in those later team fights. So now the question is, does the strategy change? Do you focus more towards your other lanes? Do you try to help out Kept, when dealing with please don't ban me, right? Or do you just go with the same old, same old? It was rocky, it was shaky, but it did win the game. So that's the big question coming here for Team XYZ. And for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens, the question is, do you keep the same kind of draft, right? Do you just put the same kind of thing under position? I honestly don't hate the Seraphine pick here. Yes, it might have fallen behind against the Draven. Maybe it could see a little bit more jungle presence over there. But the big question here is, what kind of team compositions do these teams need to come out on top? And there's many ways how to figure that out. You could go with scouting on OPGG. You could just take a bunch of time to figure things out yourself. And you could also use some external things to help you out, like pro comps.
Oh yeah, you know, we love pro comps here. It's absolutely free to play, free to use. It's absolutely able for all of us here to use. You can scout out meta champions, meta builds. It will also take your champions. You can create your own tier list. If you say are running for a team, trying out for a team, you know, be like, hey, this is the tier list of champions I like to play. It'll scale them against where they are in the meta. It will also teach you how you should play against certain champions. Say, for example, you're up against that Lucian Nami bot lane that everyone hated playing against, and you're playing Samira. It'll tell you exactly what level you need to engage, where you should be going at. It'll also act as like a virtual coach for you, analyzing your drafts, letting you know where your weaknesses are, what you need to look out for against the enemy team. It can tell you what's meta, like I've already mentioned. And so if you want to join leagues such as ourselves, like Titan, but say, hey, you don't have a coach, you could just use pro comps. I'm not sure if it can go. If it can take VOD like past games data, that'd be interesting to try out.
Maybe a little much, but I will say,
it'd be interesting to try out.
We've got over 200,000 people already downloading pro comps, and as we said, Cilantro, this entire thing for free, that's crazy. So either way, super happy to be supported by pro comps. So make sure to show them some support to ourselves. So either way, game number 1 worked out well, in quotations, for the side of Team XYZ, right? We had a huge gold lead on Team XYZ and a huge amount of control. Now, the question is, are we going to have the same amount of gold in this game? Because that, despite the gold lead, felt like a pretty rocky game start to finish.
Agree, and the best way that we can tell where this next game is going to go, in my opinion, will be at the draft table, because well, this XYZ team came out with a comp that wanted to go swinging. They had the Renekton, they had the Taliyah, they had Volibear, they had Draven, and it looked so powerful on paper, but compared to Team Sun's comp, but it just didn't do. Maybe they just didn't play their tools right or something, because Team Sun won out the first couple of team fights. But now we got to see, is the Hui gonna get banned? Maybe the Renekton? Maybe they're gonna ban out Draven instead? It doesn't seem as though we have any side swapping here, as XYZ will be back on the blue side and Sun will be on the red side here again. But
yeah,
I'm
and
to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, same old bans that we saw before, as the Tristana, as always, going to be something that you're going to be a little bit worried about in that mid lane here. And once again, it is going to be the Karthus taken off the table. And one thing that I will note that we noticed in that last game, 0 Skarner presence in that drafting phase. And honestly, that's a really big tell. It tells your opponents, hey, we don't particularly care about the Skarner because neither of our top laners are willing to play it. Neither our junglers are willing to play it. Or, you know, they're just saying, hey, Skarner's definitely going to be getting nerfed sometime down the line. And the Draven slam here for Kiwi, just making sure that there is 0 chance of getting that Draven on the Narcoleptic Kittens here. And I mean, that Draven was a huge boon beforehand, but this time it's not going to be the Seraphine as a response. It is going to be the Ashe. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ashe Milio or some other champion to really augment this Ashe, and Braum is incredible at that.
Yeah, I think that the Braum is a great pick going up against this Draven. We saw Ashe was one of those champions banned out in the second round from Team XYZ last time around. But they're going to be opting for their typical bot lane. It worked for them the last game. They're going to try and make it work this time. This time around, Titan was an absolute menace on that Leona, running around the map, getting those solar beams down. But Vi will be coming out instead of the Volibear this time around. and with the aggression that Captain Starfall's had across the map on the Volibear last game around, I think this champion is going to benefit from it a lot better than the Volibear.
Ooh, okay. So, now, Vi and Draven are two champions who are just going to be focusing down one champion, just trying to make sure that one person dies as quickly as possible and doesn't get a chance to play the game. Kindred, a rare pick nowadays, going to be coming on out here as the response from Butter Chicken. You know, not only can Kindred kite out the Vi early on, once it gets towards those later stages of the game, if the Vi so decides to go on a single champion, there's going to be a huge amount of response with this Kindred pick. But now, speaking of responses, the Hwei from that last game going to be getting banned out here, as well as the Seraphine. So that is likely going to be placing Please Don't Ban Me into that bot lane on the Ashe, and we might be seeing Afterlife in the mid lane there. But the Renekton takeaway here, going to make sure we're not going to be seeing any of that Renekton Camille that we saw the last time, but we might see that Renekton mid. Not as comfortable or as popular of a pick as we've seen nowadays, but oh Lord, we've got Tomato Tom's Jax.
Yeah, this composition is already looking disgusting out of Team XYZ. Sun's comp is also pretty nasty, and I swear to God, if he has the Ahri skin, I don't even know what that skin is like.
I'm just saying that if you don't have the Ahri skin, we're finding you nowadays.
That skin is $50. Like, who would pay that much? Like, that's ridiculous.
Cilantro, did you say $50?
For the base one? Yeah. It's $430 for the other one.
Yeah, I was about to say, Cilantro, I think you're missing a zero there.
That's absolutely absurd. Acquisitions is going to go ahead and lock in the other Faker character.
I was about to say, right? We got two Fakers on two sides of the map here, and the question is who's going to be the one coming out on top. Traditionally speaking, it has been the Ahri coming out on top with this pick, right? Because Charm being able to cancel out the distortion, so it's all a matter of playing your angles properly here. But Please Don't Ban Me was playing very, very well in 2 Keps the last time around, so the big question is who's going to be coming out on top this time around, and who's going to be the one getting played around. So now we're going to have to see how things actually do work out on the Rift, as we're seeing yet another mid bot lane swap from the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I don't know if Captain Starfall is gonna be prioing the top side this time around. You know, Butter Chicken on the Kindred, I don't think needs to go to the bot side, so we might see that Kindred roaming to the top side, getting that Renekton ahead, because Ashe Braum is a very, very good bot side. They can.
Now I will say, this Jax pick is one that, you know, we've seen Jax versus Renekton quite a few times, but also, as we noted at the very, very beginning, this is a comfort pick for Tomato Tom. This is their highest mastery champion. Mastery doesn't tell you much about champions, except what champion does someone play the most. And when you get into game with a high mastery champion, usually, you know, at the lower elos, you're like, oh no, you know, they play this champion a ton. When you get to the higher elos, it's like, oh shoot, they might actually play this champion a lot. So in the meantime, 5 people into the spot lane. Very, very strong level 1 composition, but I don't know if we're gonna get a full-on fight here.
So we don't have a Faker LeBlanc or Ahri skin on the field, so we have no Faker fans in the game. Very sad. It's what it seems. But we might have a full 5-5. I think W Scatter Arrow is not going to find anything. Are they going to recall on top of each other? Surely they spotted out the Crocodile. Braum's going to go forward with the shield first. He's going to end up getting absolutely decimated. No. First blood over to the Jax? That's definitely not something you want to give over this early on.
Yeah, and not only is that first blood over to the Jax, this first blood over to the Jax, while also forcing a teleport, no, it's going to force a late to lane Renekton and Jax, so neither of them gets much early on. This is a disastrous start for the Narcoleptic Kittens here. Oh god, an extra longsword on Jax early is so rough to deal with.
Now we're going to see how they snowball this. Captain Starfall's going to be roaming farming the camps up toward the top side, but so will be Buttered Chicken. Like I said, the rest of this map, the bot lane seem to be kind of left to their own accords this game, is what I'm assuming is going to happen. Kiwi Kevin and Titan, they put on a workshop last game around. And this Ashe Braum duo, I don't think that Buttered Chicken is really concerned for their survivability whatsoever in the bot lane.
Now,
So
I
both
do
of
gotta
these
say,
players. Yep.
So I do gotta say, when it comes to the bot lane, we're seeing both of these junglers path bottom to top. But while Kindred doesn't necessarily need to come bot, of the lanes to play into to actually get a kill with, that is easily the most consistent lane to be looking for a kill, because you look into the top lane, right? Jack's going to be using that counter-strike, going to be dodging out on these abilities. Mid lane, Ahri always going to have the Spirit Rush available to get out in time. Meanwhile, Tomato Tom still going to be able to make use of that early kill. So much damage over here. Buttered Chicken needs to make something happen, but the ward going down, going to dissuade that one early on.
Yeah, I have to agree. He wants to come to the top side. He wants to help out this Renekton, especially after they got behind so early on. But I don't know if the angles realistically will be there. Tomato Tom will have the angles to be able to 2v1 just for a little bit. And I'm assuming that where Snarfles goes, Buttered Chicken is not going to be too far behind for those counter ganks. And we're seeing a bit of a resurgence of what happened last game with Please Don't Ban Me shoving Kept under the tower. You know, the Ahri does struggle a little bit with farming in the early on stages until she gets a couple levels in her, gets that Lost Chapter online. Then she starts going with shoving out those waves comparatively against the LeBlanc. So I'm not really too concerned with the wave state there. But if I'm a little bit concerned for Alma right now. But yeah, this top side I think is where the game's going to play out again.
Yeah, I mean, oh wow, this is actually in such a good position for Tomato Tom there, as with the ability to drag the wave, this forces out the teleport, and this Jax is in such a good position, still essentially even after that teleport there because of that early kill. And just like that, Tomato Tom in a great position here, needs to find a way how to push this lead, but Buttered Chicken's just around the corner.
Yeah, he's already forced out the stun from Tomato Tom. Not going to be able to dodge out much of anything. Don't think he was spotted on any wards from Tomato Tom Buttered Chicken, but he's going to be in the area. Alma knows it. Alma can play forward a little bit aggressively there for a few seconds, try and get this wave bounced into their favor once again. But it's realistically not going to amount to much of anything. Tomato Tom's going to be able to shove that right back into the face of Alma here soon. And meanwhile, the dragon's going to be spawned up. Snarfles is already in the bot side. Kindred's moving down towards there, but the bot wave, Prio, is in the hands of Team XYZ. And are they going to go for the first dragon? I don't know if they want to go just yet. Titan's moving up for a little bit of vision, but Draven's recalling, and so is Snarfles. They could have an advantage jump on this Sun with mid lane Prio if they are fast enough.
Yeah, but in the meantime, once again, the wave state in a good position for Tomato Tom, as this top laner has consistently been able to find leads into the top laner of the Narcoleptic Kittens. And I will say, right, last time, a lot of it was from Snarfles just constantly going towards that top side, constantly trying to make sure that Tomato Tom would get that lead, would get that snowball going. But this time, it's been all solo. So it's significantly better for the side of XYZ, especially now that you got the Jax, a scaling champion, the one ahead here. And 2 backs to 0, and it's still going to be Tomato Tom coming out on top in these trades. In the meantime, with all that prio, it's going to be the Void Grub duty for Captain Snarfles. I think Tomato Tom's honestly going to do fine here.
Yeah, he's going to turn straight onto Alma with the Grandmaster at arms. Alma knows that Buttered Chicken is in the area as well. Tomato has less HP. The sun's going to come down. Can he get the kill?
Oh.
No, Buttered Chicken able to slay up Tomato Tom. Over the wall goes. Please don't ban me. And the charm goes wide from Kept on the Ahri. So it's a kill into the pocket of the Kindred onto the Fed Jackson the top side. That's great for this Renekton. He's going to recall with a wave under his tower. Able to get back in time as well, trying to freeze up that wave. This is looking really good for Team Sun right now.
Yeah, I mean, should be able to get that slow push on out here. And I gotta say, both of the mid laners missing their CC there is kind of funny. But in the meantime, bot lane is just going to continue to pick up so many stacks on this Draven. It's a ticking time bomb here. And Tomato Tom going straight on in the 2v1.
Yeah, Butter Chicken is already there. No ultimate online for Tom this time around. And Alma has the level advantage into this fight. It's a double stun. That's great, but there's nothing really you can do off of that. The wave's going to get shoved out. Any trade out here? It's not looking likely. Had to burn Flash. They're going to shove out this wave and tower dive him. And here comes Please Don't Ban Me. Oh, no, Tomato. I think you might have overstepped your limits just a little bit here. Then it will be the LeBlanc picking up the kill. Might not have the Faker skin on, but is doing their darndest to make an impression.
Yeah, and look at all of those minions lost under tower. It is going to be the teleport back in from the Jax to try to pick up as much as possible. But that is a huge lead from Tomato Tom, going to be getting squandered by a little bit of overzealous play. Like, sometimes that is the danger of playing on a comfort pick. You constantly look for the limit testing, even in these competitive matches here. Meanwhile, Captain Snarfle is just going to continue to pick up the ever-growing jungle CS lead here, as we're getting a very different playstyle from this jungler. Last time it was force the gang. I always want to make something happen. This time it's, what if we just sat back and farmed everything on the map on repeat? And once again, you know, we're seeing a solid lead coming in from the side of XYZ purely through the laning alone, but you have to look at just how much team fight potential the Narcoleptic Kittens do have.
Yeah, I don't really think that the sit back and play and wait playstyle is the type of team that Team XYZ drafted. We see it as some sort of bot-side thing. It's a cease and desist onto Afterlife. Maybe wanted to get the kill over to Kiwi Kemin. No ultimate online though, so decided to just take that one for the team there, Captain Snarfles. It's a great punish onto the AD carry. Already is down CS. Gonna pick up some plates into the pocket of Draven, but at some point, you've got to get a kill onto that character. Get those stacks and finish that first item. That's what's gonna help snowball this bot side lane. And Ahri is essentially a mage assassin. She doesn't realistically want to be sitting still on the map farming. She wants to be roaming, finding value. And so does Jax wants to be, you know, hitting different spots onto the map, coming in to help the team out with like a topside Rift Herald fight or say so. So like this team, the sit back and farm kind of scale favors Team Sun more than it favors Team XYZ. I'm kind of a little upset they're not being a bit more aggro.
I mean, that's what I would say if there wasn't some fighting already going on here, but all right, we're seeing Alma also coming on in to try to back up their jungler. Here comes Tomato Tom and Kept.
Yep, it's going to be a potential stun. The charm onto Butter Chicken is phenomenal, but it is a trade out onto the jungler. The Grandmaster at Arms comes down, but the dominance has already been committed. Tomato able to find a double kill for Kept. The Spirit Rush comes down. Can he get the kill on it? Please don't ban me. And we shall see. It's a great charm, but the clone, it gets the true damage onto both of them. One more Spirit Rush charge. He has it. The flash, he goes for it, but he's unable to find it. He chased the wrong clone. And Please Don't Ban Me gets out with, like, he should not have lived. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's absurd.
I mean,
that he gets
that
out.
wasn't even chasing the clone there. Kept was so sure that they had the kill, and Please Don't Ban Me just gonna be getting out because of that overconfidence. This is why you double tap. This is why you always overkill. Always make sure that the kill is super guaranteed there. And the Ahri and the LeBlanc both going to be dropping their flashes there, means that there's a short window of time for Buttered Chicken to push forward onto that Ahri without the Spirit Rush, without
He's gonna go blindly over the wall though. Oh, but he knows that Tomato doesn't have ultimate. The Ash Arrow goes completely wide. He gets the slow though onto Tomato. Gonna be able to stun up the Crocodile. Captain trying to eat up the damage, get the Crocodile to target him. It's a great cease and desist, but I don't know if it's gonna really amount to much of anything. Trying to bait them a bit under the tower. The Braum is here. It's a 4-player in the top side. Please Don't Ban Me able to find out one. No trade outs coming down. And Captain should fall to Buttered Chicken in the meanwhile. It's going to drop the Immortality Field as well. And what looked like signs of life breathed into Team XYZ. A little bit of aggression coming down. Team Sun fires back and shuts it out. Oh! There's the stacks for the Draven.
Oh, that was well over 200 stacks for Kiwi, though. That's not an insignificant amount. That's actually a huge kill going over to Kiwi. And all of a sudden, look at that gold differential. I got to see the difference in gold between these two AD carries now.
Yes. He's got to have second item, right?
Holy!
Dude,
that's almost a 2k gold lead on the Draven alone.
Yeah, Draven's going to be, like, at most near second item right now. And you've already got one dragon in the pocket of XYZ. I'd start playing the ever-living hell out of this bot side prio that you have.
That's a BF sword's worth of damage.
Yeah, you gotta get these, gotta get this dragon stacking now before they shut down this Draven while he has this advantage over the Ashe and the Braum. And I believe that Team XYZ, they've recognized that as well. You see Captain comes over the wall, wants to start up this dragon. It will be butter chicken in the area. The advantage right now is all Team XYZ in my opinion right now, but it's the positioning just isn't really there. They're going to shove out this wave and force Afterlife to have to respawn and move up into the river. I like this. LeBlanc has already moved into the river, but Ahri is matching, and I believe as long as he can get those charms out, that's all it's gonna matter. But there goes the Braum shield already procced. It will be the Draven ultimate online here shortly, as well as the cease and desist. They can find an angle onto Afterlife, who has a quarter of mana left in the tank. That could be the angle. 4 members are here, and it looks like that they might just have to give this up. The Dragon's already down to 2k. It will be second dragon. Stacking has begun for Team XYZ, and I want to see them take it all the way with this Draven advantage.
Yeah, once again, the Draven in a phenomenal spot here. Meanwhile, top lane going to be a sore point. So many people coming in on repeat, as please don't ban me, always going to be in the right place at the right time here. And there's another in from Tomato Tom, and it's not gonna work out.
Tomato is holding on for dear life, nearly gets a double kill. Meanwhile, we have a bot side gank. The Ashe arrow comes down. This is on the butter chicken, maybe able to find the kill. Afterlife is able to kill Captain Starfalls in the meantime, as Kiwi is hunting down the jungler. No Draven ultimate online, has got the turn for this Braum and this Ashe, who just continue to slow them down. The ignite comes down. Kiwi is turning to auto acquisitions. The shield's gonna be committed. He doesn't have enough mana or the damage. Maybe Kiwi's able to get a kill onto the Braum, but is unable to find it. That was a horrible bot. I mean, I think they only killed Afterlife. Wait, Kep's coming in for the cleanup. The Spirit Rush is committed. Can he go on to Afterlife? Kiwi is still alive. Afterlife goes under the tower. It's a turret shot, gets charmed. It's a double kill for the Ahri. That's actually, in my opinion, worth. Meanwhile, Tomato kills out the Crocodile on the top side. This is the momentum shifter that XYZ needs. Can he get this trade-off? No. Ahri, you've got to find the cleanup. You're not going to be able to find the clone, though. It's a shutdown for Please Don't Ban Me on the LeBlanc, so both of these mid laners are in a great spot for these two teams. But holy, the action, the momentum. XYZ can feel that this is a winnable game right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so back and forth at every single moment. The moment you see that, you have one opportunity, another one starts butter chicken going in on Tomato Tom here. The teleport also going to be committed, and all of a sudden, everyone's trying to get the Jax. Lamb's respite as well, and another teleport.
The solar beam comes down. Can they get the trade-offs here? Kep is able to slay one. Over the wall goes Captain Starfalls. The Crocodile will fall out next. It's a double kill again for the Ahri. He stayed alive, Tomato Tom. He baited out the cooldowns, and that's all he needed to do because he knows that he's not the win con. Kep is coming out on top in these matches, and it's a stellar step up from what we saw last game on the Talia.
Yeah, I mean, it's just back and forth at all points in time. The only difference is that this time, XYZ do not have a 6,000 gold lead, right? It's a back and forth match with a relatively minor gold lead on the side of XYZ, but once again, it's focused on that Draven. So much gold to this AD carry, so much damage. But without Kiwi in these fights, it's going to be very difficult to see whether or not XYZ really do have the strength to push forward here. Meanwhile, Kep's just going to continue on that side lane as the Rift Herald gets started up. Shelly not too happy about having to wake up and work over here, but XYZ just going to make sure that she does their bidding.
I love the position that XYZ is in right now, and I want to see them ride out this momentum. They're sitting pretty phenomenally right now. Kep, I need you to play like you are the president, because you have 650 gold on you, and if that goes over to a LeBlanc, well, that's not going to be pretty. Yeah, so we definitely don't want that. Oh, Kiwi, you need to run. Just run. Just forget about the wave. Don't even touch the wave. The wave doesn't exist. Just run away. That's a great stun up. The solar beam comes down. The damage onto Alma is there. And now they have Team Sun onto the back foot, while Jax is in the bot lane, able to do whatever they please. A minute until this fight until this dragon comes out. It'll be soul point. Blast code already committed. Jax is in the bot side, pulling Cryo towards him. He knows that this XYZ team is roaming over there. He's gonna go for the engage. The dominance is committed with the charm. It's enough damage. Kept able to be able to get that one. He is putting on a Faker-like performance right now, and they are going to be able to move towards this soul point dragon without that top lane bruiser carry alive. Wait, they're not going for it. They're gonna recall, get items, and then go for it? This is definitely the smart play.
Yeah, I mean, especially with those Rift Herald enhanced recalls, going to be able to get back onto the map very, very fast. And look at all that gold being spent. Look at all of that extra damage now for this dragon fight here. And once again, XYZ have always been the ones opting for the dragon stacking, always been the ones looking for that soul potential here. And now, despite the strong performances coming in from the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens, it's going to be XYZ coming out on top in terms of objectives and in terms of gold.
Yeah, they're going to be at soul point once again. 4K gold lead here. The Baron's going to be up in about a minute. They have the recall timers. They have their items, so nothing realistically reason that they don't need. There's no real reason for them to not move towards this top side. Ari's going to be coming down to the bot side. Will have TP online in the next 20 seconds. So she's just going to be pushing out this bot lane. Hold the Renekton over. Maybe force a TP there. That's basically going to be Kep's job. Kep, please do not die to this crocodile. You have 700 gold on top of you. That would be...
You have so much to live for.
That would be absolutely atrocious for you to give over a kill to the crocodile right now. I'm not a huge fan of this recall, but I guess he's going to get away with it.
It's fine.
Yeah, I guess he's going to get away with it.
Should be fine. But in the meantime, speaking of which, that recall honestly timed fairly well, gets a little bit of extra gold onto Kept here, but more importantly, guarantees that you're going to be in a safe position when you look for that teleport, as it just barely now comes off of cooldown. Tomato Tom now the only real angle for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens to be looking at around the map here, so that is exactly why XYZ are going to just continue to commit for this Jackson. The Dominus pop.
Yep, it's going to get stunned up. Alma is going to get slain. The Bramble committed to keep that crocodile alive for just a little bit, but the Draven ultimate, it forces the flash out of the crocodile. The sword beam comes down, but Butter Chicken flashes forward. The Immortal field, it comes out, but the TP is in for Kep. The Spirit, the Mage Assassin is going to go in. Spirit Rush already procced. Wants to go for the cleanup. Finds Butter Chicken. Can he find two? Draven able to clean up the second one. Please don't ban me. He has to go over the wall after landing this GC chain. But the members of Sun have no HP. They have to retreat. The Baron, it's reading Team XYZ across its forehead, and you can see that they want to go for it.
Yeah, and that was such a crazy all in there. And the fact that only 2 went down from the side of Narcoleptic Kittens is a telling tale to how well this team has been playing these fights. But in the end, once again, Team XYZ able to rely on their tried, true, and tested strategy, which is slap the enemy team with your wallets. Once again, the gold lead, the sole reason why they're coming out on top here, and huge props to them for getting to the point to get this gold lead in the first place.
Yeah, they played not as aggro as we saw them last time, but it looked like they flipped the aggro switch exactly when they needed to, and you can see it's starting to pay off. And this Ahri, you know, I believe you said that the LeBlanc typically comes out on top, but it's looking pretty much all Ahri so far in this matchup.
It's usually Ahri.
Yeah, okay. Spirit Rush is committed. Charm comes down. It's a great CC combo. Oh my. He wants to get the season assist with a flash away out of Please Don't Ban Me. And it's the Draven ultimate for the cleanup. The dominance is proc. Maybe trying to get the shutdown onto Kep, but it's going to get charmed up and auto to death. Kep is putting on a clinic this match around. Meanwhile, it's Tomato Tom into the bot side with the Baron buff, just cleaning up the rest of the turrets across this map. He's got a Candy minion wave. He's not really afraid. The damage on a butter chicken is absurd. He gets the solo bolo, popping the Grandmaster at arms. In this game, I don't really know what to say, Anti. I want to say it's over, but it's not over till the fat lady sings, and she ain't singing yet. But there's a lot of people in the base with the respawn timers that are singing, watching gray screens right now for Team Sun.
Yeah, at this point, seems like the Narcoleptic Kittens are simply singing their death throes as there's just so much fighting back and forth. The question is, can you make this one work? Please don't ban me now, going straight on in, and Titan will be the sacrificial lamb for the team. Flash is out there. Hold on.
He finally dies, but Tomato re-engages, lands a charm onto the Braum. Going over the wall is that Vi, gets a cease and desist onto Afterlife. Afterlife is fallen. This is turnable. Tap. He gets a charm onto the Crocodile. He finds one. Can he find two? One more Spirit Rush. He can. And it's all Captain Starplus leading the charge. The Immortality field. It's not going to be long for this world. Another charm. Vi is able to clean up the kill. And with the Baron minions coming in, this is a phenomenal Ahri performance throughout this game. They can just end it. They're gonna take all the towers though. They're gonna clean up League of Legends how it's supposed to be. Take the inhibs, take the towers. They're gonna wait for Draven to show up as well. You got about 9 seconds till Afterlife and Aquascience respawn, so I don't think they're gonna go for the end just yet due to that. But they're gonna go take this soul, and they do get one Nexus turret though for their troubles.
Yeah, one Nexus turret, and more importantly, 3 inhibs. Triple inhib is so difficult to deal with, but not anything else in this world is as difficult to deal with as Kep's Ahri. I gotta say, Cilantro, after that last game, I thought that I had a few question marks, really, about whether or not Kep was going to be able to do well into Please Don't Ban Me. But look at this Ahri. Oh no, I got to stop complimenting Kep. I'm sorry. Immediate caster curse gonna come on through here. But as we were saying, this Ahri is a huge point of contention for the side of the Narcoleptic Kittens, but now with Ahri off the table, XYZ are starting a fight.
Afterlife is already slain. They want to turn on to Kiwi, but Kiwi is chunking Butter Chicken down. Trades on 1-for-1. It's a double stun off of the Jax. Going onto Alma and Aquasins. You may have slain their mid lane carry, but we're going to slay the rest of you as a result of that said kill. And you know, the TP is not online for Tomato Tom just yet, so can't come in onto that super minion wave. But you know, he's got 2 more coming in from the bot side and mid lane. This game feels all but not for long gone. Capt will be up in 3 seconds and will be TPing in to support his team. There you can see it. And you know, this was just a phenomenal game coming out of Team XYZ. I think this is what we were expecting to see in game number 1, given what they drafted and how early of a head start that they got. But this was a clinical performance, and oh my, this night and day difference between these 2 games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at the very end, we did still see some back and forth play here or there, but I gotta say, game number 2, Kep woke up. Kep got all of their deaths out of the way in game number 1, and holy hell does the Ahri play dirty, just constantly darting around the fights, constantly getting those spirit orbs out and the charms in the right places at the right time. And a lot of the time, right, when you look at a high KD, it's not necessarily that the player is hardcore carrying. Sometimes it's just about them picking things up at the right times, but Kep was doing so much in these fights. And as we note, Tomato Tom on that Jax, a constant side lane threat that allowed for this team to do what it is that they please. And Kiwi's Draven, 2 games in a row, always something to watch out for.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one to cast, I gotta say, Anti. Both mid laners started off insanely strong. Unfortunately, like please don't ban me. Still put on a performance. So
There's so
hate
much
towards
less
them.
you can do as LeBlanc, though.
Yes, but they still put on. They did as much as they could on the LeBlanc, especially in the early on. So we had a clinical mid lane battle here. It felt like like the reason why we watch pro League of Legends. I know this isn't pro, but like we watch it for the mid lane fights, and that's what this team gave us. These two teams gave us those fights early on in the match. Kept was able to ride the momentum later on into the game. And that's what was able to. You could clearly see he woke up for his team. He wanted to, show this Sun team that they did not have a chance, to come back like they did in game number 1.
Yeah. And either way, in the end, Team XYZ going to be spelling out the end for the Narcoleptic Kittens in week number 2. And that will be it for us today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to tune in to the rest of the Titan Esports broadcast throughout the week. We're going to be doing some NACL over the weekend. So I'm going to be doing a lot more next week. So make sure to tune back in, and thank you, everyone, for joining us.